Adventurous kids explore with education and learning what a wildlife is in the Everglades. I want to explore the Museum of Discovery Science. What plants do butterflies like? I want to know about Key West Adventurous Kids. Learning and fun. Adventurous Kids!
Today, I'm going to tell you about the U.S. Marshals Service. U.S. Marshals Service does law enforcement for the federal courts. It is mainly responsible for protecting court officers like judges in court buildings. It is also responsible for finding fugitives, serving warrants, and prisoner transport. The Office of the U.S. Marshals was created by the first Congress President George Washington, signed the Judiciary Act into law on September 24th, 1789. The act provided that a United States Marshal's primary function was to execute all lawful warrants issued to him under the authority of the United States. 6 days after signing the act into law, President Washington appointed the first 13 U.S. Marshals for each of the then extant federal districts. For over 100 years, marshals were patronage jobs, typically controlled by the district judge. They were paid primarily by fees until a salary system was set up in 1896. Many of the first U.S. Marshals had already proven themselves in military service during the American Revolutionary War. The first Marshals were John Adams' son-in-law, Congressman William Stephen Smith, for the District of New York, another New York District Marshal, Congressman Thomas Morris, and Henry Dearborn, of the District of Maine. Two of the most famous U.S. Marshals in history remain Virgil Morgan and Wyatt Earp, and John Doc H. Holliday, and the gunfight of the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona. The event was made into multiple movies of the town's name. Hunting bad guys on the run is a viable career, even when it was done the old-fashioned way. For more than a century, this was the norm. It is why we see so many marshals hunting criminals in Western-style films. Marshals have, for example, protected American athletes at Olympic Games and refugee boy Elian Gonzalez before his return to Cuba in 2000. In 2003, Marshals retrieved North Carolina's copy of the Bill of Rights. Deputy U.S. Marshals typically work 40 hours a week during that day, Monday through Friday, while they also work overtime for other shifts. They may also need to travel, such as to transport prisoners between states. The Marshals are the enforcement arm of the federal courts and work closely with all three branches of the government. They pride themselves on being a family with shared values that support their dedication to duty. In 2007, it was announced that Fort Smith, Arkansas would be the home of the permanent U.S. Marshals Service Museum. Thanks so much for watching this episode of Adventurous Kids. Yeah! That's a U.S. Marshal on a whiskey.
What did you learn today?
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous Kids.
What was the most interesting fact?
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous Kids.
Adventurous Kids.